So, hi, Brett.
Hello, Beth. How are you?
Hi, Ken.
Hello. How's it going?
So, Brett and Ken are my tenants here at Shops of Arrowhead. So, can you tell everyone what you guys do? And how long have you been in business?
All right. Well, we've been in the business since 2010. We started in a little warehouse selling different teams' merchandise, Miami Hurricanes and other South Florida teams. And that's what we basically do. We are a provider. We specialize in South Florida sports teams, licensed team merchandise, sports apparel. As you can see, the store, it's loaded up with a lot of Canes merchandise. And while we do all the local sports teams, we specialize in the Miami Hurricanes. They're our main team.
So, were you a big fan of the Hurricanes and that's why you wanted to start the store in a warehouse? Like, how did it come about?
It came about, it's a long story, but it wasn't the original plan to start with the Miami Hurricanes, even though I've been a lifelong fan. I mean, I've been growing up. I used to work in the Orange Bowl and sell sodas when I was in high school many moons ago.
Do you know how much abuse I get that you're my tenant?
I'm sure, right? When you brought me in, Beth, you told me right off the bat, you said, listen, I'm not a Canes fan, but I do bleed green. Okay,
yeah, exactly. I bleed green.
Exactly. So we had half of it correct.
Yes, exactly.
So we bled green. So
I don't wear green though.
Absolutely.
I'm orange.
Red and I know. I definitely don't wear orange.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
but I do paint the light poles orange and green.
That's right.
For you.
Totally for only us. We do appreciate it. So.
So
we started by a friend and I purchased a closeout of a bunch of items, and it turned into about 2010. We actually just started fusing into a Miami Hurricanes store with other South Florida teams, and it started like that in 2010 in a little warehouse in Dania, and then we moved in April of 2010 to a little warehouse in Davie, and thank goodness we moved there because we were going to move to another warehouse. I don't know if you knew that, but we were going to move to another one in Sunrise, and if we moved there, we may never met you, Beth. So I've had other businesses, and I didn't really know about landlord-tenant relationship. It was another business, so it was more in a corporate park. So I didn't think about it. But you didn't really know anyone. It was like just sending your check. The great thing about having a landlord like Beth, and I tell this to anybody and anyone else anyone that is a real business person sees this as well, that it's, she is actually hands-on. So it's all about win-win. So I recommend to anyone that has a business, okay, to find a landlord that is going to work with you, not only in a pop-up to help you out, but it's all about win-win. And I'm not in a partnership, and I'm not talking about a partnership in respect to, that they're going to give you money, but a partnership that they are invested in your future because your future is going to help determine their center. So they're going to do whatever it takes.
Except for one Saturday a year. I'm not a partner and I'm not invested. But any other of those other Saturdays a year, I am rooting for the Miami Hurricanes to win, which I would have never done that. I mean, right? I come in and go, you guys have to win today.
Right.
Because if they win, it helps your sales.
Exactly. Definitely helps. So winning definitely helps. In the first 7 years that I was in business, we'd lost to FSU all 7 years, and only the last 2. Now we're in a 2-game winning streak. So hopefully, for all of us, Beth, it continues that winning streak for the Canes. Okay?
So Brett, I've been doing this for 33 years in commercial real estate, and I would tell you that I believe that you are in the top 5 successful tenants I've ever had experience with. Okay. So for the audience of entrepreneurs out there and tenants, wannabe tenants, current tenants, if you had 1 or 2 pieces of advice for entrepreneurs that are looking to start businesses or are continuing their businesses, what would it be? What do you think are the top 2, and Ken as well, what are the top 2 things that successful entrepreneurs need to have?
I think when you're starting a business, being an entrepreneur, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to have their own business. They want to go ahead and be the man, be the woman, whoever it is. So I think the first thing when you decide to open a business is you got to realize that it's your business and you're going to have to work and work and work. Until we started bringing on a couple more people, I worked every day. During the football season, I worked from basically July 15th to December 31st. I think I had Thanksgiving and Christmas off every Saturday and Sunday.
You actually were in the hospital for heart palpitations at one point.
That's happened too. And even last year, for the last couple of years since Ken's been on board, we've worked every Sunday together. Every Sunday. And Ken has a regular job too besides this. But
yeah, I think people think when they're entrepreneurs, I'm going to be the man, I want to start my own business. They think, that they don't have to work so hard.
Correct.
But they really have to work triply hard.
Correct. They have to work triply hard. And a lot of people think like, oh, I'm the owner. I rarely ever say that I'm just the manager. It's all about the people. It's not about me. So I think when you're an entrepreneur also, you're opening your own business, it's not about you. It is definitely about everybody else, okay? So you want not only, the customers are number one. I know I've seen the sign, the customer's always right. If the customer's wrong, still look to number one, the customer's right. But it is about the customer. But it's not just them being right, it's about treating them right, being family. I mean, knowing their name. I mean, being a part of who they are, so they want to come back. So they have so many choices in any business. You might as well make that a reason to come back to you.
And look, our big frenemy is Amazon, right?
Yes.
So people could definitely buy this stuff on Amazon and get it same day delivery or the next day, but they come here because you guys you talk about sports and you have so much merchandise and right. So I mean,
correct, yes. And as the only the independent family owned, friend operated company around, where it's all about, and people want to help that nowadays.
Shop local.
They want to shop local. I think that's a real big push. But if you're an entrepreneur, remember you're going to work hard, long hours at the beginning, but smart hours. But also it's about you working, but it's about your customers, it's about your employees. You don't need the credit. I believe an entrepreneur doesn't need the credit. He knows what he's got, or she knows what she's got. It's the bottom line is what you're building. You got to have a plan. I mean, not a concrete plan of where you're going to be in 1, 3, 5, 10 years, but a plan of who your customer is and how you're going to treat them. That's the biggest thing. The products, obviously, or services will come and go, but you want to go ahead and make sure it's all about the people.
So how do we meet?
We met because I would go ahead and have this warehouse, and we started off putting flyers on cars and everything like that.
Oh my God! Thank goodness you didn't put flyers on cars in my parking lot. Yes, that's not how we met.
Yeah, that's not how we met. But then we started.
I would not have liked you, I would have called you, telling you to get the flyers off my cars.
You definitely would. One thing that is all about win-win. But when you definitely point things out, which is what we love about you. All right, that you do steer us in the right direction.
I gently point things out.
So we started putting little signs around. So we put little signs all around our little warehouse. People couldn't find. There was mostly automotive places in there, and nobody in retail, of course. And people would find us, and they'd find us, and I'd put little signs out more and more all over University Drive until they told me not to. And then they'd pick them up. I'd go put them out the next day, and just kept on doing this. And one day Beth found our sign and told one of the people that work for you, said,
go find this guy.
You gotta go find this guy. We want him as a tenant.
Because I drove into my office was here in the shopping center, and it's on University Drive. We've got about 60,000 cars that go by the shopping center every day. Mm-hmm. And I drove into the office one day. It was about July, beginning of football season, right? Mm-hmm. Is that when you used to put them out?
I put them out pretty much all the time. But yeah, you called.
I noticed there were like 40 of them.
They probably came out in July of 2011. We started in 10 in April, and probably about a year later, Mackenzie come knocking on our door and said, listen, I'm with the Shops of Arrowhead, and there's a great, we're in a great plaza. It's right on University Drive. Would you like to come try us out for a month? And I said, I thought about it. I did think about it, and I said, how am I going to do a month? Am I going to work both places? It was rambling through my head. So I passed it up. And about a year later, she came back. Beth sent her out again. Go find this man.
Yeah, because so I told her to go find you. She came back and said, yeah, I talked to him. He's not really interested. Because I said, well, if he's in a warehouse, very destination, like all of his customers are going to have to go find him. I said, go look and see if he's got any merchandise. Is it used stuff or is it real good stuff? And she looked in the window. I don't think you were there the first time she went. And she looked in, she goes, oh my gosh, it's full of merchandise. So, but then like many, many leasing agents, you forget to follow up.
Exactly.
And then like a whole year goes by and I'm driving into work a year later, July, start of football season, and there's those darn signs again. I'm like, oh my God, we got to go get this guy. This guy's the real deal. You go talk to him and make him come. And then football season came and went. You were very busy there. And then I think in about January.
And yeah, January of 2014, fast forward, I'm having lunch at Los Spanos with a friend. Reluctantly, I took this invitation, and it turned out to be one of the greatest moves of my life.
I need to give that guy a thank you card.
Yes,
whoever that is.
We'll have to get him. We'll have to get him to come. So I went ahead, walked the plaza with him. We walked and talked. He was a high school buddy, and I said I went to at that time I think Mackenzie was there, and I said, by the way, do you remember me? I have a tiny little warehouse around the corner. Of course we remember you. Would you
And
give
I
us-
was in the office.
Yes, will you try
and
us
I-
out?
He walked in and I saw the CanesWear shirt and I literally leaped from my office in the back to the front. We have to have you here.
Exactly. And I said, will you take us for the football season? And they didn't think about it, said yes. We tried it for the football season. And I kept on saying to all the people that I was friends with, and I said, I don't know, I'm gonna have to have 2 stores going. And they said, you're never gonna have to go back to where else. I said, I don't know, it's a big move. And it turned out that we came here in August. We opened up August 24th, actually August 21st on my birthday. And for that first 10 days was amazing. And the rest is history.
Pop up. Here I am with Brett Gittleman from CanesWear. You can tell by his shirt. So Brett, we found canvassing because he put little signs up in the median on University Drive in front of our shopping center. He was in a warehouse space. We convinced him after 2 years of chasing him to come do a pop-up at Shops of Arrowhead. He's been in his space, 1,100 square feet for how many years?
3.5 years.
3.5 years, and we just signed a lease today to celebrate Friday to expand to 2,300 square feet, right?
Absolutely, we're pumped.
So what we call this in the retail industry is a pop-up. Had you ever heard of pop-ups before I said, come try this during football season?
I didn't hear a pop-up like this. I knew there was Halloween stores, which is coincidental that there was one here, a
Right.
pop-up, and I saw things like that. So I did know pop-ups like that in front of a stadium, but I didn't know actually a business can try something in a business. And one of my concerns as a retailer, it was new to me, this business and everything like that. I'd had other businesses, but it was like, okay, you got to go. I didn't have a lot of capital. To go into the business, I would have needed first, security, last, probably sign away my whole life in a 5-year lease, and who wanted to take that risk?
And your firstborn.
I'm my firstborn too. So it would have been very difficult. So this was a blessing. So you coming in and offering me that opened up my eyes. And when I came in and said, can we try this out? I was very surprised that you said yes.
But and why I said yes was in the retail world today, we're in a flux, a state of flux and disruption. And there's the 5 F words. The 5 new F words are fun, furniture, food, physicians, and fitness. So most shopping centers are filled with those uses today. So lots of restaurants, lots of fitness concepts. What you didn't hear in the 5 F words was merchandise.
Right.
There are very limited amount of businesses opening in shopping centers today where you provide something to sell, a merchandise, because it's all online now, right? So if I can, as a landlord, can find a tenant, a business, an entrepreneur who will sell merchandise, that adds something to the mix that's very important when you're trying to curate a place for people to come and spend money, right? Instead of just eating and going, right? Eating and then, let's go next door and shop, right? So that was why it was so important when I said to Mackenzie, see if they have merchandise, right? And is it new merchandise or is it used merchandise? Not only that, also in shopping centers, you want a mix of destination and impulse. Well, okay, since the campus is 20 miles away, 30 miles away, how far is it?
Yeah, it's about 40 minutes away.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys are the epitome in Davie, Florida of a destination. So I knew that, and I knew, obviously, since I'm a Seminole and we have fans in South Florida all the way 7 hours away, that you would probably have a huge following. And I did do some research on you guys, and I did know that you had radio shows, right? You had signings. So again, events to bring people to my shopping center that would normally not come. And you mentioned La Spada Subs at the time, and we'll talk about why we're in this store, because this is not the store you started in, right?
Exactly.
But I thought it would be a great tenant mix to put you next to a very successful, like over-the-top successful sub shop in town, because I thought the people that went to the sub shop,
The same people that would come in.
probably the same people that would shop in,
Correct. The
right?
demographics are exactly the same.
I mean,
yes.
like on Saturday and Sunday, Saturdays before UM games and Sundays before Dolphin games, La Spada Subs is just crazy. So I thought, good synergy, right?
Yes, I don't know if we would have made it. Even though we came with a big following, I don't know if we would have made it as well if we would have started on this side of the plaza.
Which
where
is
we're at
why
now.
it's so important for landlords and tenants when you're looking at shopping centers and looking at space to make sure you are in the right place in the center.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. Location, 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 right? Within
Absolutely.
a location.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And not to mention across the street we have Nova Southeastern, which was not any longer the Dolphins training camp.
Correct. And we're going to be starting carrying NSU stuff soon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Look
I didn't
at
know that.
We may need a bigger store. There you go.
Well, let's talk about the bigger store. So how long were you in the store next to Liz? It was 1,100 square feet.
It was, yes, 1,100 square feet. It's funny, when we walked in there, the people that were helping me at the time, and they said, "We're never going to fill this place." I said, "Watch me." So it's,
You have no problem with buying merchandise.
No. If we had the whole plaza, we could fill it, without a doubt. Okay, I don't want to put that as a challenge or anything like that. But so we're in that spot from 2010 to 2014, and our business kept growing. I mean, we were blessed at that time.
The team was doing great.
The team was starting to come around. We went through we had a coach. There were some people would come to our store before the games, after the games. They talk. And the one thing about CanesWear, what I recommend to anybody, the first thing about a business is family, is customer service. It's like, I know we watch The Profit. We were talking about that. There's people, there's process, there's products. But people is all about customer service. And it's when people come in, people would tell me in that warehouse, I come here because you know me by name. And I saw people by name.
You're very good at that.
And it was so, and I'm blessed. It is innate that that customer service feeling, that treating people like that. But that is the most important thing. There's nothing more important than customer service.
Right.
Doesn't matter how great your products are, the people may not come back.
You know what they say? They say that if you provide great customer service, it's like a 10% uptick on sales.
I believe it.
I walk in and you say, "Hey, Beth, I'm going to buy 10% more because I feel better and comfortable that, oh gosh, the owner knows me, right? And I'll come back even more, just like restaurants. If a restaurateur knows who you are, you'll go back to that restaurant more because you feel welcomed and part of the family.
People just want to come. They want to talk, kibitz, whatever. They just want to hang out and just and it's that feeling. It's the experience. Sometimes we talk about CanesWear. It's more than a store. It's an experience. They come in, they want to go ahead and be part of a family. They want to talk sports. You can't get that at other stores. You can't get that at major retailers. So we were blessed. So we started in 2010 there. About 2011, my partner here, Ken Graff, on my right, okay, he came in one day. He was with the Broward alumni, and one of the guys that helps me out, Al, he would always say, "You got to get with the Broward alumni. Get there." He smokes a cigar. "You got to get in there with the Broward alumni. You got to get an email list." And I thought, Al. So finally, Ken walked in. It was actually not. It was 2015. I'm sorry, because we opened the store in 14. The warehouse in 10. And Ken came in trying to sell me something with the Broward alumni being a sponsor for a golf tournament. All right, we were still struggling. We were struggling at that time, and that was a big sponsorship. So the golf tournament never happened. Tell them what happened, Ken.
So we were looking for sponsors for a golf tournament. That we were looking for anything that we could possibly get Canes related. And someone said, who was a friend of Brett's, "You should go to the store." And I said, "What store?" I had seen advertising like that same card on the side of the road or in the flyer, and I said, I've seen it, but then I saw it just come into the shopping center over here. So I was wondering, okay, so they must be getting bigger and better, so they probably want to be involved. So I said, all right, I'll go in. So I came in, walked around the store, and it was okay. And there was all kinds. I saw this hockey jersey on the wall, and I said, wow, that's really nice. I didn't even know we had a hockey team. And it's funny because all these years later, we do the same thing now with the hockey team's jersey versus just one you could buy off the rack. So
that's cool.
So I said, can we do something for this golf tournament? And he said, well, if it gets off the ground, absolutely, we'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out.
That's his favorite line, right?
Right, we'll figure it out. And so the golf tournament never happened, but I kept coming back like every week, just looking around, helping out whenever anything was going on, just seeing how things were going, meeting people. And since I was with the alumni, I figured that'd be a good thing to just keep getting involved and see if anybody comes in that I may know, or we could get to our events and things. And then it just kept rolling and growing into a partnership. So it was really cool.
It was great. And that's part of the people process, become a friend of somebody. You just never know who's going to walk in the door. Becky, our managers, always says, there's like a reality show. People just come in to hang out, to talk, to help. I mean, people want to help us all the time. What can I do for you? I mean, another one of our managers, Jeff, he's now, it's like, oh, he was always helping me out. He was at Dollar Tree before. Now we hired him because he said he was always coming. What can I do? How can I help? People just love to come and help, which is just such a great thing, which is what you do, Beth, which is obviously why this is a, I'm not just saying that. I mean, that's why.
But I do help people that are smart and that have good businesses.
Absolutely.
I'm not
yes.
going to bring someone in and do a pop-up.
You believe in
if I-
win-win.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so do you, in that old store, 1,100 square feet, you were filled to the brim.
We were filled to the brim. I didn't realize how bad it was. People couldn't walk in there.
Like, oh my God.
There were lines throughout. You couldn't even walk in there. Thank goodness, they didn't say you have too many people, because it was crazy.
How about during the UMFSU game?
Oh, it's crazy.
The lines out the door all the way to Panera.
Yes.
You were handing out water.
We were
right?
handing, exactly.
Water
Was
bottles.
acting up.
Yeah, it was like and if two people were talking in the middle of the store, you couldn't walk through. You had to walk around. I'd get in the way all the time. People would want to talk to me. It's like, okay, so you got like stage left, stage
And how
right.
about what was going on in the common areas of the store? Like, not that it needed to be, but like
Shipping?
Yeah.
Oh, the shit! We had boxes everywhere. We had boxes everywhere.
online shipping
Correct.
in the store, in the walkways.
Exactly. In the walkways.
We had
People had
boxes about this high, and then I was actually using an extra register with the iPad on top of it.
Exactly.
So trying to process as many people as possible.
It was like, people thought it was like the warehouse part too, because we had boxes there. So the boxes everywhere. It was.
And then your landlord.
Yes, our landlord,
came to you and said,
"You got to expand."
Time to expand. And how happy were you with that idea?
I was not happy at all. I didn't want to leave Les Spas. Ken was for it. Beth was for it, because Ken was saying for the longest time, we need a bigger. We want to open this place up. We need a bigger ceiling. We need to take out the ceiling. And I was the guy. I said, we cannot leave Les Spas. We cannot leave. I was adamant. Just like I was adamant to several people, I could not leave the warehouse. You got to go to a store. No, I can't leave the warehouse. And I do like change, but I was saying we can't leave Les Spas. So
I don't know what he's talking about there.
we built this store. we built. So it took.
Oh, you even went to your neighbor, Sprint.
Yes.
And said, I want some of your space.
I wanted their store. I wanted to cut into it. We checked out. We got a contractor to see about how much it is. We're making deals on our own, because we did not want to leave that store, because I didn't think we could make it on the store. I thought we'd make it. I just thought we'd lose business.
And remember, this is one shopping center.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, you're just going to go to the other side of the center.
With two zip codes, as we found out.
Oh, really?
33328 on that side, 33324 on this side. And
I
two
didn't know
different
that.
mailmen.
Oh, I didn't.
Just so you know, unless you're.
I'm glad you didn't find that out before you moved, or you would have never moved. I'm not moving to another zip code.
One of the tough things was giving up our mailman. He would come, Francisco would come 3 times a day if he needed to. And that side is Davy, and this side is Plantation.
So I finally convinced you, Ken and I finally convinced you that you needed a bigger space, and I convinced you to move away from Les Spas.
Yes.
So the big question that all of the listeners and watchers want to know is, was it okay?
I would say yes, without a doubt, it was okay. I mean, people come to us now and they look for Les Spas. They said, did Les Spas move? Did Les Spas close down? I said, no, we moved. So now it went from us being next to Les Spas to a lot of people, and of quite a few, that Les Spas was next to us. So we moved. The sign we put out there is unbelievable. I mean, the space is just so special. It's a long space, so the sign brings in so many people. I predicted that you would get newer customers that didn't know you were over there. Correct. We get new. It's amazing how people every day come in and don't even know we existed, which is a strange thing. We think that every Hurricane fan does, but every day we get someone that buys something that says, "I didn't even know you were here. Right. When did you come?"
Do you know how many people I stop in Publix? I always send you pictures, right? I see someone walking in Publix with a Hurricane shirt. I go, "Do you know about CanesWear store?" And I'll take a picture and send it to you.
Yeah,
you have to go to CanesWear store, and they don't even know about CanesWear.
You've taken pictures on golf course in North Carolina about 4 years ago. Look at this guy. He shops at your store, Brett. So I think, is Beth just looking around for my customers?
I try to avoid all of the Hurricane people.
Exactly.
But, so now I have this other shopping center, right? And it's been challenging for me. So I've been after you guys for a long time to do another pop-up.
Yes, and
probably about 3 years.
Correct. She's an outlet you wanted to. So let's get an outlet somewhere. I've got this great spot. You've been telling me about it. Totally.
Right. And I sometimes have some good ideas. And you do have a lot. You do still have the warehouse, right?
Correct. We don't give up on places. No. We keep places.
and you have storage elsewhere.
Everywhere.
So I thought it would be a good idea for you to take the merchandise and put it in like an outlet store near Sawgrass Mills Mall and try another pop-up, right?
Absolutely.
Have you recently done that?
Yes. So we went ahead and we actually we partnered with somebody that originally helped me start this. So he had a business, so we were going to have his business, Petrucco's Collectibles, our business, CanesWear, next to each other. It wasn't going to be CanesWear, but we started, similar but a collectibles memorabilia business, and we're really excited about that. In a different center, in a different area. And I see people, I was at that Daly's gas station right across the street. I've seen 3 times I've seen people say, "Bro, what are you doing over here? You opening a store over here?" I said, "No." Well, I said, "Yes, we have something really cool." So it is very exciting.
So that's in Sunrise, and it opened about a week ago.
Correct.
So we're very excited, and it's the same deal. It's a pop-up for
It's a pop-up. It's a
for,
wonder. Yeah.
6 months or however long, and then we're going to sit down and evaluate. And I, of course, hope it's going to turn into the success we've had here.
Of course, yes. And you did say when we were setting up, "Brett, I want this like your other store. I want it nice. I want it clean. I want it neat, and everything like that." Thank goodness you didn't say that when I was coming from the warehouse.
Well, guys, I just thank you so much for your time. I know we came in early. Normally don't like to come in that early, right? Because you're here late. But if you guys are Hurricane fans and soon to be Miami soccer fans, right?
Correct.
You're going to be the headquarters of the new Miami soccer team.
Pretty much for Broward County. We've got quite a bit coming in, and we're really excited about that, the soccer push.
And then the pop-up in Sunrise at Shops of Sawgrass Commons. They've got collectibles, Hurricane stuff. So thank you, Brett. Thank you, Ken. And it's my pleasure to be your landlord. I love having you guys here. And I can't wait till, what did you say? You wanted to buy the center because you could fill the whole center?
I think we did say that.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.